Hi, my name is Teresa. Welcome to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about fibromyalgia. What is it and what has been my experience with it? This is going to be informative and also reflective. I want to talk a little bit about how it has affected how I show up as a partner for my husband and how I parent. But yeah, let's get into it. So according to Mayo Clinic, fibromyalgia is a disorder characterized by widespread musculoskeletal pain accompanied by fatigue, sleep, memory, and mood issues. Researchers believe that fibromyalgia amplifies painful sensations by affecting the way your brain and spinal cord process painful and non-painful signals. Symptoms often begin after an event such as a physical trauma, surgery, infection, or significant psychological stress. In other cases, symptoms gradually accumulate over time with no single trigger. Women are more likely to develop fibromyalgia than men. Many people who have fibromyalgia also have tension headaches, TMJ, irritable bowel syndrome, anxiety, and depression. While there is no cure for fibromyalgia, a variety of medications can help control symptoms. Exercise, relaxation, and stress reduction measures also may help. So, fibromyalgia, I got it. How long have I had it? I was technically diagnosed in 2021. In January, I think. Maybe December. Maybe January. I don't remember. It was the end of 2020, beginning of 21 when I was technically diagnosed. I've been going back and forth with my doctor over most of 2020 about, it wasn't going back and forth. She told me, you have fibromyalgia. I was like, I don't have to deal with that. Well, that's what it is. So I think I am in the group of people that the symptoms developed over time gradually. I can remember feeling exhausted and completely drained and stiff and sore and achy all over for no reason as early as maybe 2018. I would have spells where I would just have to lay down. It got to a point in 2020 where it was just my everyday. I don't think there was one particular trigger that led to that. Certainly, 2020, we were in the middle of a great panini press. Everyone was affected, and I think maybe that it may have tipped it over the edge for me. But part of the reason why it took me so long to go to the doctor was that I had felt that way before. I had been super tired and so experiencing unrestful sleep, if that makes any sense, like sleeping so much and still waking up tired, or being sore and achy. Now, I will say I've never experienced pain the way that I experienced in a fibromyalgia flare, pain that doesn't necessarily go away with taking pain medication. I don't get as much pain now because I hope that I am better at managing the stress and managing my anxiety and managing my energy output so that I can avoid flares like that. But yeah, so for me, if I had to rank symptoms, I have all of them. So, but if I had to rank symptoms, the top one would be fatigue. Sleep is so important for me. I have to go to bed, even though I feel like I can't sleep for 8 hours anymore. If I get 5 or 6, that's really good. But like if I sleep most of the hours between 10 and 2 a.m., I can have a better day. If I'm up late, or if I'm up and down in the night because of my bladder, because I have a whole nother chronic illness, but then I have less energy in the morning. So fatigue, number one, muscle weakness. And so I like, especially my hands, my feet, normally mainly the muscles around the joints, like there is a general weakness. The best way I can describe it is anybody who's ran before, if you run for exercise, if you run for a hobby, or weightlifting and HIIT will do this too. You work it so to where your body is so weak that like doing simple things like walking, it's almost comical how difficult it is. Well, I feel that way oftentimes without having to do anything. Like I wake up in the morning and quite often I have to lay there and allow the strength to return back to my body so that I can actually walk to the bathroom or get my kid ready for school. After muscle weakness would be joint pain. When I have how they put it, musculoskeletal pain. I don't know why they put it like that, but your body hurt. Your body hurts. And so when I have pain in general, it starts in my hands and in the joints in my hands and in my feet. They hurt all of the time. Pain medication does not ever make the pain totally go away. And when I start experiencing pain, if I have a flare and I start experiencing pain over my entire body, then my hands and feet feel the worst. Like they'll literally feel like they are on fire from the inside out. It is the strangest kind of pain because it's not like you injured a muscle or anything like that. It's like a radiating, pulsating pain. It is awful. After the joint pain would be, I think the next like 3 symptoms that I deal with are probably like distant in severity. They're not as bad, but I don't know if you noticed, but I've been stumbling speaking. Fibro fog. It's like mom brain, but not associated with children. It's like an extension of that. Like words fail me. Like I will have a conversation with my husband. I do this to him all the time. He probably thinks I'm insane. But I will have a conversation with my husband and then I'll walk away and come back and I'll have to ask him, did I just have that conversation with you? Or what did you say? You know how you lie and tell yourself you're going to remember so you don't have to write it down? I know now for a surety that I cannot do that to myself. Like I will forget if my child has to go to school. There are alarms set in my phone. I sit down, figure out what day she has to go, when do I have to pick her up, and I set the alarms to make sure that I get her there in time and pick her up when I'm supposed to. It's awful. The fibro fog is awful, but it's not like actually painful, and there are great, I'm a good planner, so there are great workarounds for it. I did not know though that I would have to plan to like remember to do something that seems easy to remember to do. Anyway, after the fibro fog, IBS. IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. I will say this, I have not been clinically diagnosed by a gastroenterologist. I have a rheumatologist. He gave me a heads up like, hey, this is probably coming down the pipeline. He was right. I did do independently without the help of any doctor, so take it with a grain of salt. But I did do a FODMAP challenge diet. I did it for about a month. I did 2 weeks where I cut out all FODMAPs, and those are just foods that contain certain chemicals. The chemical names are really long, so they came up with it acronym FODMAP, and I couldn't tell you what. I know what foods bother me, right? And so most of the foods are vegetable in nature. So all the things that are pretty much really, really healthy irritate in my bowel. But the point of the FODMAP challenge that I did for 2 weeks was to figure out what was irritating me and what wasn't, so I could eat the things that wouldn't irritate me, and then gradually reintroduce some of the things and see if there was a certain amount that I could eat. And so I know now that I can't eat all greens, but there are some lettuces and some greens that I can eat in particular ways. I know now that I can't eat raw onions, but I can have onion in dishes if it's cooked this way, or, you know. So that's the whole point of the 5 Minute Challenge. It's not to constrict your diet forever, but that has helped with some of the IBS issues that I have. There are some, like, my diet has changed so much, and we'll go into that, but there are just some things I can and cannot do. And I don't know that I will ever be able to do again. But for me, fibrofog and IBS, like, I can eat. I can remember to do things if I write them down. So it's not, it's awful, but it's not, nobody's gonna die. I can get enough nutrients, you know, things like that. What is the other one? I'm sitting over here thinking and I can't remember. This is fibrofog in action. So joints, tired. I'm gonna sit here for a second, see if I can remember. I'm gonna cut all this out though. Bruh. So anxiety and depression. That took entirely too long. So anxiety, depression. Anxiety is something that I have always, I have dealt with probably since adolescence. Probably around puberty is when I can think back to having some of the issues with anxiety that I still have to today. And fibromyalgia does not make it better. Being in pain all the time affects your mood. It affects how well you sleep, which affects your mood. It affects how you feel throughout the day and the amount of things you're able to get done. And so that adds to my anxiety. A big trigger for my anxiety is feeling like I can't get it done, like I'm not measuring up. And so in a very real way, I am not getting things done because I have fibromyalgia, and I am not enough to my own standards. I don't think anybody else holds me to the standards that I hold myself, but I am not, you know how people do like those 2022, 2016, show your glow up. I don't, there's no glow up. Like I don't consider myself a better version of myself in a lot of ways. Maybe mentally and emotionally. Maybe some of the thought process, definitely some of the thought process and ideologies and morals that I have now are better. But like, as far as accomplishing goals, nah, there's not a glow up there. Physically, definitely not a glow up. My body is getting me through a very difficult time, but it's definitely not as right and tight as it used to be. And we'll just leave that there. But yeah, and so that all has exacerbated the issues that I have with anxiety. I go to counseling usually once a week, definitely once every other week. I need to see a psychiatrist because I feel like the management that I have of my anxiety could be better if I found a psychiatrist that could help me, if not find the right medication or clinical processes that would help me manage it. Maybe EMDR, if you had any, you know, I don't know, but like I need a little something, a little to help me in my psychological journey. And so, yeah, those are the 6 things that really affect me. And there are some other things like body, like being able to regulate my body temperature. Like I cannot stand heat at all, but also I can't be too cold because then I'm just freezing. Like it's the weirdest thing in the world. I thought I was going through menopause. Might still be. But I'm definitely not going through menopause. Menopause, you stop having cycles. But like hot flashes and stuff like that, I thought I was losing my mind. It's just that I can't regulate my body temperature the way that I once was able to, which is odd to me. Like some things you don't think about. I have a very, like, my sense of smell. I'm in a couple of fibromyalgia groups. And so these are things that that we talk about amongst ourselves in the group, but like that is not uncommon to just, I smell everything and all of the smells affect me. I always have a headache, slight headache all the time. to the point where I don't even recognize it and I'm frowning, and Michael's like, why are you frowning? And I'm like, oh, my head hurts. Like always. Yeah, I don't get hungry. And I do have issues with my A1C. Part of that's because I've gained a lot of weight. Part of that is because it may have something to do with fibromyalgia. I don't know. Fibro is weird, and there are lots of things that go along with it. So yeah, I'm going to put some links down below for some of the information that I shared in this video. I'm going to put links down below for a book that is supposed to be really helpful. I am in the process of reading it, so I don't have a review on it yet. I might review it, at another time. And I'm also going to put links down below for some Facebook groups. If you have fibromyalgia and you want to join, you can just ask me to add you, and I'll add you on Facebook, because I think a lot of them are private. But thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I get to see you in the next video. I really hope you subscribe and stick around, and I'll see you next time.